Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Toby Cappello, Vice President in IBM's Data and AI business. Thank you for joining us, Toby.
Thank you, Fred. Good to be here.
What we're talking about is something called Watson Assistant for Citizens and how it's relating to the response to COVID-19. Give us an overview, first of all, of what this is.
Sure, Fred. Thank you. Watson Assistant for Citizens is a virtual agent that we're working with government agencies, healthcare and educational institutions to stand up and use to allow their citizens to get easy access to information around COVID-19, whether that be general information or specific information to their institution, organization, municipality, or location. In a quick way and easy way. They can do it via their website, they could do it via text, they could do it via phone, but as you can guess, that these organizations are receiving a tremendous inflow of requests for information, both general and specific around COVID-19. So what we're bringing to the table is trusted information from sources like the CDC, marrying that with specific information for those organizations and institutions, and standing it up in a very short period of time. And we're doing all this while providing the capability to these organizations and agencies free of charge for 90 days, so it's easy for them to address the challenge they see today in the current crisis, but most importantly, the information requests that they're receiving.
And is this being used now with the battle against COVID-19?
Absolutely. I mean, we began with organizations at the very beginning when everything started to begin to shut down, and a number of folks wanted to get more information around COVID-19. So a number of weeks ago, we're using this today at a number of organizations in the United States. For example, we're working with the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta to alleviate pressure on their nurse hotline for parents that are asking questions about whether or not what they're seeing from their child represents a symptom of COVID-19. So what they're doing is they're applying a hospital protocol, which would be the normal way a nurse would go through it on the phone, and they're doing that via voice and via online. And now those nurses can focus on maybe some of the more critical cases that either get escalated from there or from other patients coming in. So we're using it in the United States in that example. It's globally. We have a number of locations, a number of municipalities in Europe, whether it be Poland, Czech Republic, UK. We have in Asia Pacific and South America as well. So it's being used globally, actively, and that use is growing every minute and every hour.
Now, this is natural language processing. So what consumers would not be experiencing would be to press 1 for this or 2 for that kind of thing on a phone that we're accustomed to?
That's exactly right. And I think you bring up a great point about natural language processing. It's natural language processing, which means you're able to ask a question in natural language and get back an answer to your question in natural language. And that's, again, on a website or via phone. And where that benefits most of these folks is I know that I get frustrated, and clearly if I'm waiting on a phone line for someone or I get a busy signal, that's not good. You want to get it to something that and a computer or an assistant in this case can handle many more calls. But secondly, if I'm going to somebody's website for an institution, organization, or agency and trying to find an answer, that can be frustrating as well. The second thing is you can ask questions in a number of different ways. So the example I like to use is, what's really real to a lot of parents and a lot of children is my school opening, or when will my school be opening? There's a number of ways you can ask that question. Is my school open? When will it be open again? I want to go back to school. Please open my school. All of these things result in the same response, which is your school is or isn't open. Here's where we're going to update it for you and things like that. But you can guess that would be challenging to do in a number of ways other than to be able to understand natural language.
And this is being used by other kinds of businesses as well. This is a product that IBM has out there, Watson Assistant, right?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Fred, and I appreciate that. Yes, so Watson Assistant for Citizens is a very specific response to the current crisis and the current demand and the current information requests. It's based upon Watson Assistant, which has been around for a number of years, working with a number of organizations. So, for example, we're working with Humana, which is a large insurance provider here in North America. So when you have insurance with Humana and you go to the doctor would call into Humana to find out whether or not you have coverage. It used to be they would do exactly what you were talking about, Fred. Press 1 for this, press 2 for this, type the things into the phone. Now instead they go, I've got Fred here in the office. Is he getting a checkup? Is he covered for the checkup? And Watson just responds, can you give me Fred's, ID? Can you give me Fred's information? Yes, Fred is covered for that based upon what he has, and it makes it much more of an efficient process. We're also working with insurance companies like Geico Insurance, so you can ask questions about automobile insurance. As you could guess, there's a number of requests and inquiries customers, in this case we're talking about citizens, but customers have about a number of things, and we're allowing those organizations to be more efficient, but also very exact in their responses.
And tell us what you've done to take away some of the frustrations that I guess traditionally people have associated with automated systems like this and not talking to a human being.
Sure. So we've done a number of things. As we talked about, first off, you can engage with this whichever way you choose. So if you want to go to a website and click a little box in the corner and type and have a chat back and forth, you can do that. If you want to go to your mobile phone and do that, you can do that. If you want to call in. So given a number of ways that a number of humans, depending upon who they are, what their level of technology comfort is, can interact with the system. And then we're trying to make the responses, whether it be text responses or voice responses, very clear, very concise. We've even done things with the voice where the voice can be tailored to what you think makes sense for your constituents. And then the learning over time is very easy for these organizations. So most of the organizations we're working with update the learning for this on a daily basis. And if this isn't a super technical programming challenge they need, what they do is they just respond to new questions or new ways that questions are asked, and they can make sure the next time it gets asked that way, we know the answer and we know the way to give the answer that citizen or that consumer.
For more information about all this, where can people go?
For more information, go to our website, www.ibm.com/cloud/Watson-assistant.
Again, it's IBM's Watson Assistant for Citizens. Toby Cappello, thank you for taking the time with us.
Thank you very much, Fred. Good to be here.
Now this. How many companies out there have continued to innovate when it comes to building a better radio? I'm Fred Fishkin, host of Techstination, and I'm here to tell you about the new CC Skywave SSB radio from the wonderful people at C-Crane. Bob and his crew really love radio, and it shows in this new compact model that is packed with features. Beyond great AM and FM reception and sound, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world, listen to ham radio operators, aviation, and more. It's the radio you'll turn to every day, and in emergencies. It will run for nearly 3 days on just 2 AA batteries. Pair the sleep timer with the new Soft Speaker 3, and you've got the perfect radio for your nightstand. Of course, it can wake you up too. Click on C-Crane at Techstination.com and put in the code Techstination for a free flashlight with your order. They love radio, and you'll love C-Crane.